Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's day 2 of week number 3, and we are in Santa Monica once again. We're not far from this pier. We are not far at all. Sometimes the home of bomb scares, apparently, as one or two times we had that in week number 2. First it was on our street, then it was on the street next door, 1 or 2 days later. But we are here, and there's no bomb scares today. We are here in the office, in the studio, once again. And we've got plenty of action for you to come. This time I'm going to get through all the normal stuff before we start to chinwag, because we are 3 guys who have been spending a lot of time talking about mice and other bits and bobs. Dan and Monsieur Ron. I was doing some KZ map. I love KZ maps. You guys should try it at home. Get on a KZ server. I play on the Raid Boss server in North America. It's just great, man. If you want a sense of achievement, if you're playing matchmaking and it's not happening, go and play some KZ, man. It's good stuff. Learn yourself some strafe jumps. We are here for the ECS season. It all leads to LAN in Dallas, well, not Dallas, in Arlington, which is next to Dallas. You can get a car there, or a bicycle, or maybe even a horse if you're feeling somewhat special. The finals have tickets available. ECS.FACEIT.com is where you can buy those tickets, get yourself down to the finals. Each of these weeks, we're going to find out who is going to make it to those finals. It'll be 1 team from Europe and 1 team from North America every week. And now we are in the semi-final stage, and we will be starting with the European section, with North America to come a little later on. I'm tripping over my words, but it's fine. Let's have a look at the bracket and see how these teams have been doing so far. There was a lot of action yesterday. Mousesports losing to Mix, who are going to be in action today versus Tricked. They beat Virtus Pro 2-0 in a very interesting matchup. Tricked looks pretty good, but we can talk more about that later. FaZe Clan lost to Big 2-1 in a very back and forth affair, very swingy series. If you look at the score lines, that was pretty crazy. And then Heretics lost to Ninjas in Pajamas, who may be on the up post get right, which is really weird to say, but there we are. Big versus Nip will be tomorrow. Sorry, cold drinks make me cough because my asthma sucks.
I mean, if you think about the stuff that Astralis went through and how it affected Astralis, who seem to have conquered all their mental demons, it's not surprising as well that NIP, during when Get Right was still there, they were, I mean, the org was under a lot of flag, even though it wasn't directly, the players
it's a stressful
kind of
situation.
It is a stress. You're repping that brand, so it's got to affect you to some extent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll talk more about Ninjas in Pajamas tomorrow when they are in action. Today, it is the likes of Tricked. They were really interesting. Hunden was like, for the longest time, I think he had some of the worst statistics on HLTV or something.
That's Hampus.
Hampus?
Yeah, because I always mix up Hunden and Hampus. It was
Really?
Hampus, right?
No, it was Hunden.
Connor? No?
It was never Hampus.
Oh, it was Hunden? Oh, fair enough then.
Yeah.
In that case, he was the butt of every joke.
Exactly.
Except NACS, he was like one person from Europe that got lumped in at that time period.
Yeah, and he hasn't really accrued that much in prize money. I think that, was it V4 they won?
Yes.
Yeah, and there was some statistic regarding prize money. God, it's early, isn't it? What's wrong with me today? Anyway, yeah, they're on the up, man. It's nice to see another strong team rising, and just a mentally stimulating team. We saw great things from them yesterday, and we may see good things from them today. We can get into the veto and have a look and see where these teams are going to be playing. Mix, I don't know that I've seen any of their players before, so we'll talk about them as the game starts, really. Train, Dust 2 and Inferno will be the series for today. I mean, are Mix literally a mix called Mix? I'm guessing that's what they are.
It seems like 5 players.
5 dudes on road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somehow it's working.
Yeah.
So,
that's the dream, isn't it?
You have Tudson in there. That was the only one that I've seen before.
Hudson.
And Tudson.
Tudson.
He's the one that, again, I got this information from Connor yesterday. Henry G bought him a PC because he was one of the players on Henry G's team when Henry G did that like Aces thing, Aces RG thing, and he was obviously like very good. And then when they went to LAN together, he was like, "Oh my god, like these PCs are so sick." And Henry's like, "Well, what do you play on normally?" And apparently he's like playing with like 100 FPS or something normally. And so then so he got bought a PC and he's actually pretty sick. So that's so Tudson. It's going to be interesting to see how he performs. But generally speaking, it's obviously a team that's going to play like some high-level, mix-level kind of pug, like organized pug-level Counter-Strike with some heavy-hitting players. So, but Tricked, are they going to be susceptible to that on these maps? I think they should be pretty safe to win it in 3.
I think it's going to be a clash of styles for sure. Like yesterday, we saw Tricked, very like systematic, organized. They were all on the same page. And then you have the complete opposite in Mix, which don't have any strats. They have 5 players they just picked up who are just going to do what they want, super unpredictable. A lot of their success is going to come from individual plays and finding those gaps and hitting shots and being unpredictable. So this is going to be very interesting clash of styles.
I think in many ways Mix is the dream, basically. There's lots of groups of five players out there who are playing together on a regular basis, so you've got that familiarity, they know what to expect from each other, and that's how Counter-Strike used to be, man, before all these orgs, these sports teams and so on. That's just, you know, people on IRC playing together and so on, which has developed into various different things now. So it's great to see, and I think that's the cool thing about the formats as well, is that people can enter and just make it through. They beat Mousesports yesterday. Yep. We didn't see the match because we were doing the other match, but you know, that's not a small test. Playing a team like Mousesports in a best of 3 and beating them, that's really promising. And who knows, if they, I don't know how long this group of people have been together, but if they're able to beat Mousesports, then I'm sure they're able to pick up an org if that's what they want to do. Maybe they don't.
Also, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just like the level of Counter-Strike nowadays, I mean, people are so good. And if you can get the mix of 5 players together that can kind of fit the roles, I mean, we can see, obviously they can do a ton of damage, taking out Mousesports, top 10 team in the world. You know, as a new team, that's
pretty big, right?
That's awesome.
All right, it's time for predictions. I have to go Tricked. We saw them yesterday. They looked really good. I haven't seen Mix, so therefore I can't pick them. It's a big scalp to take out Mousesports, but again, it's partly like there's the paper result, right? But then there's the nature of how you win a match. But having not seen it, I can't, in good faith, pick them because I haven't seen them. So if there's an upset, it'll be interesting. Dan?
I'm gonna wait until Siggy makes a prediction.
What is wrong with you? All right.
I'm gonna have to ditto what James said. Yeah, I haven't seen Mixed. I think the more systematic style from Tricked, I think that's a great answer to a team like Mix, because if you don't have solid ways to do defaults and take parts of the map, you're going to be susceptible to those traps and crossfires and little, you know, coordinated plays that Tricked are going to set up. And they looked phenomenal on train yesterday.
Yeah,
I expected to see that again today.
Sliggy, what are you picking for Dan?
I'm going to go with Tricked. I like to think that Hansen can handle a Mix. They'll be drilled enough to just handle it pretty easy.
You comfortable to make a pick now, Dan?
That's taking me off the fence. One thing that's interesting that I found kind of surprising, to some small extent, is that Mix, they had I think, was it 11 rounds on T side of Inferno against Mousesports, which is pretty impressive, because normally you would expect that would be the more difficult scenario, because as you're saying, Ron, like Inferno is a map where you have to run the defaults. To get that many rounds against Mousesports, you've got to be able to at least do some of the basics really well. So, and that on top of the creeks and how good they are mechanically, there is a lot of room in Inferno and Dust 2 for Mix to actually create some upsets here. So I think this could be pretty close. But yeah, Tricked is definitely the safe bet. I'm looking forward to seeing the tactical strength of them overwhelming Mix. Because I think, would it be fair to say, do you guys think that Tricked is more tactical than Mousesports? I would look at them.
I'll go as far as saying we saw some good tactics from Tricked.
Yeah. Every single round they were doing something where you could tell it was coordinated.
It's very Danish Counter-Strike, isn't it? Like from the best Danish in-game leaders.
Yeah, we'll see if they are able to continue that later. But now it's time to look at the numbers from the people out there, from you guys. Who are you choosing to win this one? I don't know. Maybe we've got some nerds in the chat who've been watching the Mix matches. So let's see what those numbers look like. Okay, a solid 67% for Trick. That's pretty reasonable. I mean, they don't even have their own logo Mix, so this is how it should be in that respect. But where do Pinnacle lie? Now, this is an interesting one, because when you have to lay odds for a match like this, do you have people up all night watching the matches back, trying to figure out what the strength is like, or is it purely statistics, ranking, and on-paper results? Because you can't watch everything, right? So that would be an interesting process to learn about. But Tricked will be a solid favorite over Mix, which is how it should be. until Mix prove otherwise, and that's going to take a longer period of time. A result here and there won't be enough. Now, just before the match starts, as I said yesterday, if you were tuning in, which you should have been, I got loads of grip tape ordered today. I ordered 3 different types of grip tape, okay? So if we go top-down cam, we've got this this Gamma Supreme tape for, I guess, badminton or something. It comes with a little sample there. And I just got, I don't know why, but I've got like unlimited grip tape, basically.
For the rest of your life. Lifetime supply.
In this bag. So this has a little sample here, but we'll still, Dan, you can open this, please.
So James got some badminton grip tape because one of the mice that I got sent recently had that on the side, and it's incredible. It's like it's really effective, and it doesn't seem to wear down.
What's interesting, the mouse on my desk, as some of you may have seen on Twitter, it has gaffer tape on it, Pro Gaff tape. If you look on Amazon, it's called Pro-Gaff, and that's nice tape. But the thing is, it wears with your like finger rolls and things. It kind of just gets a bit gross. But this should be more durable and longer lasting. So it's covered in some kind of. Is this just a material? Okay, I don't know what's going on with this. What are you supposed to do with this? Okay, this one you're supposed to tape. This is proper. Is that proper tape? Like, how do you attach it to the mouse?
Hey man, you got to
because it's shiny on one side. Okay, so I think this is the sticky surface here. If we go here, I think this is sticky surface, and we peel this and then grip on this side. Though I'm not sure. I think this is some kind of wrap, you know, because the sample on the outside feels it. Have a feel of that.
For this chain for comparison.
Yeah, it's
okay,
got a tackiness to it.
So that must be maybe you need some double-sided tape. I don't know, but that's some badminton tape there, so we can put that away, Dan. Thank you. So if I peel this.
This is great for people that have sweaty hands, or maybe a mouse shell that tends to wear down easy, maybe like a matte style.
So this is the grip surface, but you need to attach double. Oh no! There's okay. Top down cam. Right. So this is the grip surface on this side. Okay. So this has a peel. Right.
I'm gonna touch it.
Go on in.
Nice. Yeah.
And then on this side,
sick.
there's. So this must be the sticky side, I suppose. Oh. What? Okay, so this is literally to wrap around a racket. So there's a tiny piece of tape at the top, and there's probably a tiny piece of tape at the bottom. So this is. Yeah. I suppose we could modify this. You have to pull this thing off. All right, this is not really the one. The one Ron's holding is more interest, I think. But it needs double-sided tape.
Yeah.
Because it's again, actually no, it's the same. It has a tiny thing here.
Just get some glue
to peel. So you're supposed to wrap it around the racket, essentially. So with some modification, we could be onto something here. Watch this space. We'll have to get some double-sided tape in the office, and then I don't know what. But I think there's still one to be delivered. Because I ordered 3 different types, and I've got 2 different types, even though one is a lot. So we've made a mess of that, and that's fine. The knife is live. Is it still live? Is it over? Have we missed a knife? I didn't buy a knife yesterday, guys. Good news. Good news. I stopped myself from buying a knife. I wanted to get the ultraviolet stiletto, but it only had a minimal wear one, and it wasn't perfect. I think if you have the ultraviolet or a night, it's got to be pretty close to perfect, otherwise you're just going to be looking at it all the time. These matches are also available on Caffeine with community casters, so you can go over to caffeine.tv if you want to hear some other alternative voices. But these voices will be taking you through on the main stream. Mix will be starting on the CT side. This is good, because worst case scenario, they get to show us something on the more advantageous side of Train, in theory.
Well, Acor, 2 aces with an AWP in one half yesterday showed us that he is a beast. We'll see Mix arriving towards this A bomb side, looking to go for the defense, so to be taken down. Tyson not having any success either. Pretty good for Trick so far. We've got Juan Flatru. Yes. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to say his name.
What on earth is that flag? I don't know what that flag is.
Well, they've got a couple Albanians, I believe.
Oh, Albania.
And they have a Swiss player, 2 Albanians, and Tudson, I think he's Polish-British. Yeah. And I forget the 5th player.
His name is literally Juan Flashery. Maybe just Juan will do.
One, yeah. Alright. But yeah, definitely an interesting collection of players.
Okay, we've got Trick spreading above B. Nothing on toward here, but what is the timing? Anikes has a scout. He's got players to focus on the lower ground. Trick will slow things down. They have dumped most of their utility. They have 1 molly and 1 smoke. They do, though, have the ladder room, which is really important. I believe they have somebody downstairs there. Baker will be leaving the premises, it seems. So they all ran over towards B. Now they'll start to clear things out once again towards A. Hoping to have pulled rotation, I presume, towards B. And indeed, there are 3 players deep towards B, but as you can see, Regon is about to see that no one is upper B if he continues to push. Third man now rotating back towards the A bomb site, so they did manage to get their CTs to over-rotate, but with all the time afforded to them, they're back. One flat true, only good for 1. Anikes, though, has taken that Bubsky as well. The flank is coming in from Regon. But I think the main threat has been neutered. Bouncing off the roof of the door frame to avoid getting headshot A-core. And it's 2-0 for Tricks.
Yeah, great mid-round call there by Tricked. They had planned to rush inner, and they got quickly stopped by that smoke. So they made the smart play of walking back and hitting outside. Sometimes I see teams kind of force situations. They try to force a strat from the beginning. Sometimes you just got to recognize that you got to reset and call an audible. So, great call, whoever made that, to fall back.
Nice flash over the top for Roger's peak. These kills. You fan of Roe, James?
Like COD Row?
Yeah.
Don't really use it, to be honest.
It's like little eggies.
Little what?
Little eggs.
Little babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really eat them.
Why not?
So it does not appeal to me. Like sometimes in a set of sushi, you'll get it, and then I'll eat it for sure. But it's not. You know, I suppose it's considered a delicacy, but I don't know. It just doesn't interest me.
I hear salmon roe is like the greatest source for like the oils, the vitamin D or the fish
Omega,
oils.
is it omega 3?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Omega
the
3s.
omegas.
Fun
It's got like
facts.
10 times more than any other like
Oh,
source.
really?
Not that.
I'll have to come back to that. Well, 1 able to take down Roe. He's pushing towards the Olofmeister position, A-core though with the AWP. I'm actually quite excited to see what he's capable of because I feel like maybe he's a gem, diamond in the rough, and we're about to see what he's truly capable of given some of the performances yesterday. And already he kicks it off with a double from his AWP work, and Regon dropping the smoke going in ahead of the smoke, pre-aiming up the top of the stairs, giving Regon an off angle. There's a trade though. And then Arquez with the AWP. Marie has a lot of work to do here, so really careful not to fall. This is the flick, very hard shot to connect. And A-core punishes with another kill with his AWP. My goodness, chaotic trades the late round there, and Tricks come off the better of it, but they do quite a lot of damage mix.
Some chances on the B bomb site for Mix. I think they were kind of unlucky there. With a few missed shots, unable to keep track of the last player. 4-0 for Tricked. It's a horrible start to the CT side for Mix, but maximum loss bonus is here. We've got Regon moving up. Getting taken down. Rest of Mix on the A bomb site. Anikes will make a rotation. Trick fighting around a choke point. Flashbang is up. Some damage done, but they're all alive for now. Angles being held. They're in no rush. A minute 30 to figure out where the remaining players are. A grenade into A. Noise mostly cut. Actually, I can hear people running. I can see them running at least. They're at a step from Hudson. And up a chance, but nothing doing. That's a perfect round from Tricked. They don't lose anybody, which means lots of monetary pressure to come for Mix. Should they be successful in this next round, there'll be another full buy right behind it from Tricked. Only the one, though.
Quick fun fact about the fish oils.
Here we go.
I always forget which, but you're supposed to have there's a correct ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s because one, and again I forget if it's 3 or 6, one is much more commonly found in our diet and promotes inflammation, and the other one inhibits inflammation, and so you're supposed to balance down the ratio of those two.
I don't need inflammation, I don't think. You are on inflammation sometimes, Dan.
It's a quick 5-0 stop for Tricks. It's a really fast 5-0 considering that it's train.
Yeah, this is not the start you want from Mix. This is I mean, you're on the easier side on train.
It's a good defense there. Spots the second player. Now, we'll see Acor avoiding the position on that Ivy. Meanwhile, obviously takes down one towards ladder room. So things not looking the best here for either team. Both teams have their own problems, but you could argue Tricked have the run of the map in terms of where they want to go. So looking to shove all in on the B-bomb sites. Regan is there close. What is he going to be? He's got support coming from Connector. Anarcha's a little bit slow to that one. Still gets a lot of damage though. A kill and some collateral damage onto Shush, but the bomb will still be planted. And the TT still need to make it through the choke point.
Spreading now. Shush gets taken out. Acor and Hunden remain. There's a flick from Acor. Headshot, of course. Finally get taken down. Acor's been quite the sniper recently. 2 aces yesterday.
Oh, this is huge. Oh, Hunden, no, Hunden.
He still had time.
Yeah, he had a lot of
panic
time.
mode.
Yeah,
I don't know if
walked it.
I don't know if he thought maybe somebody was at an angle defusing the bomb where he couldn't see. I think that must be what had happened there.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought there was a meat shield and the fuse was coming in.
Otherwise, he can just sit on the side of the train, just crouch, waiting. That had to be it, yeah.
Just a scary panic, but here we go. Mix still have to. That's the worst way to win your first round. One player surviving, and you buy within an inch of your economy. Obviously, Tricked having won 5 rounds in a row. They should have. I feel like they should have more money than they do, but still they've got another full buy and they can reset the situation. Not as bad as it used to be, all things considered with the new economy, but still, you want momentum. You need to catch up. Can't be dropping more rounds immediately. Still gets the shot off Anakin. Didn't take too much damage there somehow.
Yeah. You know what I bet it was? I bet it was one of Hunter's teammates who probably called that someone was on the bomb or something like that. Given how panicked his response looked.
It did seem abrupt.
Because it's the way that he was responding. It looked like it was like you know what I mean. Like sometimes when you're focused, you commit to it. You commit to what you know. But when people tell you something, it can kind of break your focus a bit. Yeah. But we have Tricks looking to get themselves into the B-bomb side here. The HE is going to do massive damage. My god, Regan, beautiful work. But it needs to be finished off by his team. And Alcaz with that. AWP is going to miss 2 big opportunities there. That is
He's missed a lot of shots on B.
Yeah.
A lot of shots on B so far, like too many shots. All things considered, especially when you look at the score. 3v3 now, Acor doesn't miss.
He's so good.
Executes everybody he sees. Looking for the flank, there is one. Won't be expecting that angle though. Very elevated, one flat route. No kit. Maybe there's one on the site. He knows Roger doesn't have the angle, moving towards the site, inviting him out, and Roger doesn't seem ready for it. There's time for the 10-sec defuse, and maybe he picks up the AWP. Mix get that consecutive round. The bomb plant will help Trick though. But once again, it's one player surviving.
Yeah, and Juan showing the patience, sitting there on the big flank, just sitting on the rail. And if that opera wouldn't have peeked all the way up, he would have had to drop and make noise. So, that patience paying off.
I almost just want to call him Flatron. It's a pretty cool first aim.
It's very unique.
Yeah. And it's interesting though, because if you imagine that Anarchist would have hit one of the 2 of those AWP shots as well, that would have been a much easier pickup for Mix. They would have kept a lot more money in the bank, but they have enough here to play out the round. They're going with a very fast pace. Platron actually makes his way all the way to ladder room very quickly, and obviously that's possible if the T's are playing a medium or a slow pace. You can get there without getting caught by players coming out T main. From there on the ladder position, just trying to slow this down and make the split a bit weaker, as they can't attack also from ladder just now, but they know that he's in there, and that's a problem at this point, because the T's are flooding the A-bomb site. Doesn't tries to defend. I think they really needed him to be able to hold on to the hell position. It's just all going to fall apart now.
That's really unfortunate. Not fragging the player walking through the smoke, not even running but walking. Maybe some nerves for Mix, especially considering the situation, how desperate they need to hold on to these rounds, keep winning with only one player surviving. Maybe feeling the tension, but they have been overcome by Tricked in round number 8.
They look a little bit sleepy in comparison to Tricked in terms of the individual duels. Like Tricked looked really sharp, and on these battles like Mix, we're not seeing anyone with that kind of lethality where they're going to kill someone in the first like 2 bullets.
Yeah, and it could be a factor because it is the first game, and they're still just getting warmed up. So, I mean, they've had opportunities, they're getting shots that typically you'd see people at this level hit. And, when you're a pug and you're relying on your skill, you have to hit those shots. And
yeah, that's a really good point. Maybe there's some pressure as well, because they beat Mousepores, who no one, and they themselves probably would never have expected to beat. Now it's like, oh, it just got real now, because now we actually have a chance. We defeated what is perhaps the strongest team in the bracket.
Regon's got the M4 from the round prior, saving his CT spawn. And the rest are on pistols. He has the 1 flashbang, but no one seems to be in a position to burst. They're just playing with traditional positions, despite only one player having a rifle. And that might be fair enough for now, because you could expect Trick to look for an aggressive play. There's the flashbang. Before he can get the shot off, though, even though he's blind, Roger knows the angle roughly. Synopsy doesn't quite get there. 2 plays dealt with. Regon's announced himself with a frag by the ladder room, but he has time to rotate his rifle elsewhere. Making his way towards B now. Trick slowing things down, making Mix wonder, but not really moving into a different position.
It's quite interesting actually, because firstly, it would have been very useful, obviously, if that CZ swing would have got 1 kill and this would be a 3v3. Because it's really hard actually for the T side, because the CTs can kind of just gamble. And if Tricked right now were moving into an A where there were 3 CTs and they only had 3 players, it's actually really hard to correctly check everything against the pistols. You can kind of like lurk around. But instead it's just Regon here, and he's going to have to do something really ridiculous. Maybe this will be it. There's 2. Oh my god! He gets all 3. That is ridiculous. And now it's just A-core left. Oh my god, he's just going for the ace here. He wants to chase it down, hunting A-core.
get him.
And he's going to go down, but I appreciate the effort. I appreciate it. Even though they really needed that gun and the money, I appreciate it.
Found the timing, found a really strong angle. It just went spamming.
Oh,
Beautiful
so
spray
clean.
transfer.
That transfer was clean.
So good.
Grand Central Station.
Now that's what we needed to see. That's what we're talking about. If they're like, that's a great timing for this to happen too, before anything gets too out of hand, and you can kind of lift your team up, energize them with a clutch like that.
They can still recover. 9-6 would still be a good half.
Oh dear.
Yeah, on surprise tricks like that, I guess.
Well, I think his teammate baited him.
Oh
in
yeah,
one sense, because he ran away and gave all the sound cues.
That's true.
I was here, and now I'm not. So, but
very true.
I suppose it is an early smoke as well. So there's a few
clues
to make it a reasonable guess. Minute 12 on the clock. Break those windows to smoke off the IV position.
You're right there, like his teammates stomping on the metal. Like, it's definitely raising the alarm.
Well, his teammate could have got sprayed down as well, so like one or the other. There were a few different opportunities. Got a jump throw from the window. Still be the suggestions towards A. The IV smoke is up, and that is a big headshot on the B bomb site. Snoxy has a lot to do. 36 seconds on the clock. The bomb hasn't gone through just yet. He's found isolation. Synopsis bought time for his team to rotate, but Hunden's in a strong position. Probably ready for the second player. Almost. Running out of bullets. Taken down from the side. 2-play survive again. It's always low numbers on these round wins for Mix, but they are catching up. And they've put Tricked into the bin, basically, around $2,000 per person, and their loss bonus sucks.
There was another spot like we saw Regon in for Synopsy, where it's like, actually, he's got a really good spot. They've just somehow overlooked him. He could completely mess that up, or he could get multiple kills and cause damage, and he actually got the kills. So things starting to look a little, you know, starting to look up for Mix. These rounds are definitely going to give them some confidence. Now they get to play an anti-eco, so they kind of get to solidify some level of momentum. Just blocks as well, so there should be no issue here. Ooh, oh, that's such a shame, and he won.
So juicy when they line up, but the numbers game can prevail.
Oh dear.
Bells being rung on the A-bomb site, and Tricks had a minute 20. Acorn now with the AK, that's a great start. He's got good aim, hasn't he?
Oh my god, he's insane.
4 kills so far for Acorn. He might be doing too much running though. Anakez has the angle now with the AWP, and he's going to walk straight into a headshot, no less. But a great effort from Acorn. Once again, Mix only survive with 1 player.
Dude, this Acor guy is actually really nuts.
He is.
He's
yeah.
actually super nuts.
Swift.
He's like, you see him with an AWP, and he's phenomenal, and he's also phenomenal with a rifle. I'm looking forward to what else we're gonna see from him.
Yeah, he's already got 17 frags already, leading the scoreboard. And
That's
we've got a
excellent.
timeout by Tricked. They need to slow things down. They've lost 3 rounds in a row. They're trying to figure out what's the play here.
I'm afraid for Tricks because Acor's a little bit too good. I'm afraid he's gonna get poached, you know, by some other Danish team.
He's pretty strong, man.
Like he's looking really sick the last games I've seen of him. It's just so useful to have a player that is a steady pair of hands. You just know he's gonna get, if he gets served the kill, he's gonna get that kill, no issue. Great push from Anarchiz. I'm really happy to see that he went aggressive there. Going through the flames though, Trick's looking for a fast timing. Look at this fast response outside, and it might work out. They get the first kill, the lineup there for Hudson will allow him to help slow things down. Acor and Hunden are remaining though. Acor's making a play forwards, and it's going to have to be all Acor because, oh, that is phenomenal. Using the ladder there to great effect, juking and then finishing off his opponent. More information, but where is the last player? Well, we won't find that out in time. Flatro will take him down. Is that true?
That was wild. Tricked, I guess, expecting at least 2 players on the B bomb site, trying to swarm on A. But it's 4 rounds in a row for Mix, so we noted how many players were dying each round, but there aren't that many rounds left. They'll have 2 AWPs now in this round, and Tricked, their money's in the bin once again. So this may turn into an okay half for Mix. Who knows what to expect in the second half?
Yeah, it was that the first round they won was the Regon round, right? I think it was, yeah.
There's 1 Deagle taken out. Anti-eco territory. Might be a slight gap there for Tudson. Might not want to play too close with the AWP, all things considered. Oh, he needs help. Anarchiz with the other AWP. This is kind of awkward, although it's not awkward anymore because everybody's dead for Tricked. 7-6, Mix now in the lead.
Ooh, the Survivor 5. I think that's the first time.
Yeah.
So, since it was 5-0, Tricked have won just the 1 round. Have they been solved in this half?
All of a sudden, yeah, that huge round. Yeah, the Regon round, he stepped up and won that eco, pretty much.
very different since then. And Synopsy as well, that key player around the B-bomb side also in a round after that. And Riga now going aggressive with one flat true towards the inner bomb site. And we talked about that yesterday, very punishable position, spraying through the wall, lots of damage done, but it's a positive outcome, at least with the players, the player numbers for Mix, despite Rigon and Anarchez being very weak in health. Tricked, very good at responding immediately, have position on the A bomb side after attracting all the attention towards inner, and they have themselves a plant for Ivy. Out comes Synopsy, he's found a timing there. 2 big 1v1s, maybe the third as well. A-Core in a 1v4 with the bomb ticking away. That's going to be very difficult. He whiffs the shot. Great round from Synopsy. Synopsy, even though they survive a 4 here and everything like that, it's cool because he's the guy that makes the first contact and he just kills everyone, which again keeps the integrity of the economy. Although that said, we are moving to the final round.
And typically when it's like a 4-on-3 like that, you want to regroup and kind of collapse together. We would kind of see the mixed play coming out, that pug style where people are kind of, they have the freedom to do whatever they want and push forward and take chances. And you can just take people off guard. And, you get awarded for that aggression, especially if you have really good timing. So sometimes you have to take those opportunities when you see them, even though, at the back of your mind, you have to play the odds and whatnot.
Right then, it's the final round of the first half. Tricks need some success to end this first half. Looks like they may just go for a no-nonsense B play. No messing around. Anarchez will whiff the shot again.
Another one. B bomb site's not the one for him with the AWP today. Trades, but it will go in favor of Tricks for a time. Now maybe favour us back with the CT's bomb advantages. Yeah, Joanne Fratu coming in from the back. And that'll be enough. 9-6. I think this is pretty good, all things considered. They started down 0-5.
Yeah.
And to get 9 of 10 rounds afterwards is fantastic for Mix. Who will win the pistol? Find out after the break.
Up your game. 128 service for the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience ever. Ensure you game seamlessly with our state-of-the-art FACEIT anti-cheat. Track your progress with advanced stats within your community, country, or region. This is the true ranked experience. Sign up now at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
And off we go. Tricked CT side now. Hunden will have the smoke and a defuse kit. Everybody else on Kevlar. Todson has a flash. Todson has dropped one flat true and Synopsy P250s. I am satisfied. First game of the day, and we've got double P250 raidable. I'm happy, man. Look at this, Dan. 2 P250 drops.
I've been really liking the CZ in pistols. It's actually so sick.
On the CT side.
On both sides.
Situationally good, yeah.
I'll talk about it in a moment, but we have the push coming to B. Maybe I'll be able to talk about it now because they are getting absolutely wrecked. They can't get through the choke points. It's really rough if you try to go upper B and the CT gets that first couple pops. You're just like, okay, we've lost every bit of momentum. Could have reset the situation in a 2v5 on the T side of train.
And he lost both to P250s.
My idea of hell. Look at the response here. You can afford to take huge risks to CTs because you've got 5 players. You can easily sack a player for information. It's such a big reward if the push works out as it has. You know exactly what's happening now. So Juan Flattery, I just learned from Siggy, is in FPL, and he's like basically their young superstar. And he recently joined a team with was it X Epsilon? So he's joined X Epsilon.
He has joined?
He has joined. He has joined X Epsilon.
Which player is this? Would you say?
Juan Flattery.
Okay.
So he's the little FPL superstar on this mixed team.
So he's joined a team which is not this team?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what Siggy told me. So.
Okay. Very well. Can't trust these white people these days. Deagle spam is out, and okay, we've got some results now. Bubsky showing his face. Regon still has control of the bomb. Sound cues galore. There goes one. There goes another one. And there goes the bomb. Gravity. Newton and all that. Where's the apple? Mix are in the lead by 1 round. 2 for 2 from Tricked at the beginning of this. Tricked has won both pistol rounds, it's worth noting at this point.
The way you said that almost makes it sound like you need an apple for gravity to work.
No. I can't agree with you on that one, Dan.
You said gravity, Newton, where's the apple at?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know how to make much sense of that sentence, but
if
I tried.
Just put it into a search engine, gravity, Newton, apple, see what comes up.
Might have never found out what gravity was if it wasn't for the apple.
There you go.
Yeah.
There is an intelligent man on one of the seats behind me. You never see it. There's Dan.
In mix, they have 1 flash. So they're just looking to headshot. Gotta find an entry somewhere, rely on their aim. Buying all those deagles last round. It's definitely hurting them here in this first buy.
Wiggle, wiggle. It's pretty static, isn't it?
Until it's not, and there we have it. There's the push. Good pick from Snopsy, using that Krieg. Putting it to work. That scope very good on this map. And we'll see now the push coming in from Ivy as well. Forward position. Aiko did not expect Regon to be so far forward. Gets caught off guard. The trade's there though, and is actually turning around in favor of Tricks, but it's all about the timings. And Tudson finds a good one, as will Shush as well. That's just 1 bullet, 1 HP. Can this really be workable for Anarchist? No, Shush will take him down. That was very close there. So much damage was done.
Yeah, that was, they almost got away with that, just kind of walking out randomly and finding timings. That ladder trade was huge. That CT player swing into that T player and living with 1 life. It's a big, awesome display of aim there. Being able to transfer from mid to ladder. Got a solo AK buy from Regon.
Hero AK. See what you can open up.
Ooh.
Regon keeps making me think of Rickon from Game of Thrones.
He's reminding me of something, the name. I don't think it's Rickon.
The dragons or something.
Maybe. I don't know. There's something I haven't quite figured out just yet. Don't know where it is. Did you know, Rambo? If you have no Kevlar, and if someone throws a grenade at you and it hits you and it explodes, it can do 101 damage in 2 hits.
In 2 hits?
Yeah. If you got no
counts
Kevlar.
as 2 hits? Even
Yeah,
though it does
because
101
the grenade hitting you does damage, and then exploding, so it can do 101 damage in 2 hits.
I did not know that. It's good to know.
It's crazy, man. Gotta watch out for them grenades.
I've never seen that happen though, but
It's happened to me on multiple occasions. I'm a W man.
well, we've got 4 in a row for Tricked on the CT side of things, so they're off to the start that they want. Let's not forget Tricked also won the pistol on the first half. Let's just remember that, keep that in mind. Put that in the memory bank. And we'll see now if Mix can find a way back in. And Okez gets himself a pick into CT Connector. Lovely stuff for Mix. Now they'll make their way towards Ivy as 3, completely avoiding the position that they just got a pick from, which may confuse Tricked. Speaking of which, looks like Road is confused because Synopsis is already down, but he's going to run out before his teammates are there, set up on Ivy to pincer with him. That would have been nice to see him wait for his teammates. But
Looks like he thought he might have had a window to catch players off guard. Risks were taken, and risks did not pay off. Speaking of risk, Bubsky looking in the wrong place. Anakez will deliver that one.
so many weird kills in this round.
Acor is lurking. But Juan Flatru has an important flank. Acor's a very dangerous man.
That's 3 players on Trick that died with their backs turned to their opponents, which is quite interesting. You don't often see that in a round.
On train, no less.
Yeah.
First round on the way for Mix in this second half. Shush. Trying to hide in CT spawn, I presume. Does he fancy a ninja? Got no sound cues. Can't imagine he will pursue. Players are falling back, but he wouldn't get to the bomb in time unless he ran. Got a few ninja diffusers on train under my belts. Not against the likes of these people though. But don't try me because I'll do it. Trying to get anything he can out of the rounds. The items, AWP, utility, but nothing found. 10 to 10. Hard to know where this one's going, really.
It's a timely victory for Mix because similarly to the first half, you know, you start to think, oh god, things getting out of hand. But they managed to kind of get around back in a timely manner, and the economy of Trick is not looking very good, so they have an opportunity to take momentum if they were able to also find a way to win this one too. But I don't know that the last round is really replicable. Finding the backs of 3 players.
Yeah, I think Trick, they just have to hold strong. They're trying to default 3 outside, 2 inner, and just hold their angles. They're getting caught in rotation. They're getting caught, you know, with their backs turned. So they have to trust in that their teammates can hold their spots. They have all the angles covered.
Shush may have some work, his work cut out for him if this burst comes in from Mix. Acor didn't expect that. Sees a lot of players. Breakdown's only good for 1, almost 2, but not 2. And Tricks have been outmaneuvered. Is this round over already? A Molotov in connector. They seem to be considering it. It looked like they were about to save. I think one person assumed it was a save, and another person called for the pursuit. Anakez has missed so many shots, it's ridiculous. That might cost them, because this retake, which shouldn't have started in the first place, you could argue, is proving to be very, very successful indeed. Synopsy, the last man standing now. He's only got the HE for the bomb. There it goes. It might hit 2 players. It's chunky, but how on earth did he stop this bomb from being defused? It's a great spray down. And the defuse is there for Tricks. Some damage after the fact.
That's good.
But
yeah, that's a costly op miss. That was the round win. You want those op shots all day.
He's been missing so much. It is really, like, normally it's not so stark. You know, someone misses a couple of shots. Like it's not this dark of a.
I think the thing is that a lot of them that we've seen should have been impact frags where it shuts down the round.
And it's run of the mill AWP shots.
Yeah.
It's not like crazy difficult shots.
And on the CT side, there were like repeated opportunities. Even a play which he missed had another opportunity, then another one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then got taken out. So
yeah, he's been like really leaning on his teammates who have been otherwise saving spots which he should be able to deal with.
And he's still fragging. You know, if you look at the table, there's a good average, but again, it's the impact of the opportunities that are lost, that have been lost, which has partly cost a few of these rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, the timing of a kill is just so huge. It's so huge in this game. You need to get it at the first opportunity. Ooh, that push has really caught them off guard there, and I got to say, Mix do a few basics very well. Go into that in a moment. We've got a repositioning coming in from Mix here now, so I need to occupy the ground towards the inner bomb site.
Shush has to be careful with his position, because if he went more to his right, they could see his shadow.
And again, Mix just walking down lower, completely dry like last round.
Yeah. And this leaves Tricks unable to respond. They're not in position.
One thing I wanted to mention about that last round, the way that they went down the ramp was, so you had Shush in that position by the ladder, you know, that classic position by the cogs. What do you guys call it in North America?
The what?
Like
spindle?
The spindle, that's the one, yes. Don't know why I said cog. That position, oftentimes you're going to see the CT, because Shush had an AK there as well. You often will see at least 2 kills, maybe sometimes even more. Sometimes the round is just 1 there, and in some, I was very interested when they were pushing into that position, how they were going to handle that. And they actually glued 2 players together, and the first player swung wide enough that it was a double peek, and then they both sat down, crouched, and sprayed. So even though the first player dies and the second player takes damage, that Shush goes down. And that was really key. Because the way that some people will do it is they'll try to trade the kill as opposed to double peek the kill, if that makes sense. Double peek, you know, obviously being a more guaranteed way to get the trade in that spot. But it's like a small thing, but those basics are really huge, because that entry kill gives you the bomb site, and they should have won that round.
11 apiece. Bomb's been planted in each of the last 3 rounds. Tricks money is in the bin now. It's almost the reverse of the start of the CT side for Mix, where they started bad and then turned things around. Tricks started good and things have gone bad. Mag 7 on the ladder. We've seen Oscar do things with an AWP on the ladder. He just announced free agency today, out of interest.
Oh wow.
So maybe Mix need another AWP. Oh dear.
Nice.
So there's a variation. Was
double money.
Dream Eaters, they put a Molotov outside and then double HE inside in case the CT tries to move towards the ladder to avoid the Molotov, which is pretty cool. Did that to Azar from Renegades at the Major.
Big fan of the double molly.
Yeah, all dressed up but nowhere to go.
There's a guy there, he's dying unless he drops the smoke. They're just walking out again as well. I really like this. Ooh, big double from Roje. That's the bomb down as well, and it's going to sap some momentum out of this push. Still fighting tooth and nail though. They'll be able to make the trades work.
It's actually really scary, because at some point in the round, they just start emerging into one of the sites. They just walk out, and it's like, how do you prepare for that?
The cool thing there too is that because they got the pick on ladder with the Molotovs, you actually that becomes a pretty tradable spot. And if you throw the nades, you give the CTs time to actually prepare in some respect, whether that's take cover or throw counter grenades. But they have more numbers, so and they know not to worry about ladder. So you're worrying about E-box, maybe top of green or something at that point. Oh man. Okay, that's a fast round.
Literally looks like an aimbot.
So yeah, this type of style, it's random, but it's effective if you find the timings, and they're finding the timings, they're finding the gaps, You know, they're like slowly just kind of working these angles, and if there's nothing there, they keep continuing as a pack. And then all of a sudden, the CTs realize it, and they're already like spread out. They're like already advanced in positions. That's hard to rotate against.
Yeah.
So just, you know, when you're CT, you have to try to spot these angles early. And then it's just a pixel angle or jiggle peeking. Can't let them get out of these choke points as a pack.
And they're doing that really well. It's really satisfying to watch that. I love teams that really emphasize those kind of like really strong basics on T-side Counter-Strike, moving together, trading together, good spacing. And there's a good trade coming in. Roger, though, able to do some damage from ladder room this time. And it's not looking great here for Mix. They're not looking like they're getting too far out of the choke points, although now there's some movement. Roger coming in from ladder. Great flash, though, from Shush. That flash was a dream.
Yeah, beautiful flash. Recognizing that the T's are out and holding, and you know, throwing that instant reactive support flash.
I think there's like, when your teammate flashes a bunch of dudes and you peek and you see everyone's got their hands over their eyes, that's very satisfying.
You get to high five each other.
Yeah.
Or like online.
Yeah. It's good to spray them all down. That's like one of my favorite things, obviously, because like, you know, we play Mirage so much. You can, there's some really, like if you play that, because I've been playing the Anchor on A a lot, the flash that you throw from below balcony, you know, through the hole where the ladder is, that bounces and flashes the players coming up Tetris. It's just so effective as a pop flash, and it's just so satisfying when everyone's just blind. Just swing out and kill everyone.
I think that's just a good rule of thumb. If you realize that you're rotating to help your team, like if you're on CT side and your teammates are battling, or if you're the one rotating, you see them battling, just come out with the flash ready, prime, preemptively. You know the T's are out there. The sooner you can get it out, the sooner you can help your teammate.
I love helping my teammates.
Yeah, this is a new thing though.
He's just learning this.
In playing Counter-Strike with Dan for 5 years, he's only been useful in the last month.
Wow.
Honestly, there's a dramatic difference.
Better late than never.
It's really weird to, absolutely. Yeah, he even suggests things now. Before he wouldn't talk. Synopsy has been taken out. This is a crucial time for Tricked. Got the 5 versus 4 now. It'll make things a little more comfortable with the way Mix like to play. Just surge into a site. See a creep up Ivy. Very quiet game. It's a very quiet game of Train, but at the same time, it's a very active game of Train.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
It's quiet, and then all of a sudden, it's just like, bam.
Chaos. Sudden.
I love it.
Boost, but Hunden can't deal with it. Bubsky's got to drop off. He has a good awareness, but there's a multi-peak. Mix doing really well to abuse their numbers. Some pre-fire towards... Oh, my, look at all the debris. Roger trying to escape, but he'll be unable to do so. Mix just suddenly everywhere. It's unreal.
Yeah.
I wonder what Bubsky's supposed to do, because obviously he has to drop off the train, but then he swings to engage the Ivy players. You've got to take a fight, but which fight are you going to take? Because obviously those players are so ready for you to swing. They're expecting that because they just saw you drop off. And if you win that fight, you're still going to get backstabbed. So it's one of those things where I think you take the fight towards team main, because then you at least get the kills there. You can actually escape the other half of the push.
I don't think he could really go anywhere.
Yeah, he had to fight one side.
Because the Ivy guys will stop him from going towards main. If there's a guy in... I forget the situation in ladder, to be honest, but...
Juan, FPL star, looking for eco frags.
Oh.
One eco frag. Do you think eco frag should be worth less, James?
No. You shouldn't be punished for removing economy.
Oh, I mean like on the scoreboard. You get half a kill on the scoreboard.
No,
so you get one eco frag,
it's not half a kill, it's a kill.
0.5 kills.
You can't half... I mean, you can half kill someone, I suppose.
I think there should be
this
like
is too much detail then.
a post-game statistics, whereas there's like you could
Yeah.
separate them.
That would be really
kind
cool.
of see.
You know, I miss the days of DD on Tyloo because it was really notable, especially when we used to do the Asian minors and so on. He got so many eco frags when he played on Tyloo. He was like, it was just so noticeable. I was just always seeing him. He would just sweep up all the eco frags.
It is something though that I think, you know, one thing that I always wanted to see, as we have a save here, is with the analytical tools is understanding like what a plus EV spot is. If you look at the poker world, because you can, if you run, let's say, professional Dust 2 matches, let's say you can understand how likely is it after you take long in the first, let's say, 15 seconds successfully with, let's say you trade a kill, so 4v4, but you have long control in the first 15 seconds of the round. How likely is it now that you achieve the objective of this part of the map control? Or how often, so basically how often can you convert map control statistically into something? So how plus EV does it then become to take map control with, you know, with a certain expectation of your gains and losses through doing so?
I think that can tell the story of how the map went, or how the match went by map control.
Yeah.
Be a good indicator to see that.
Because then also you can begin to understand more how important a kill is, in terms of the impact for map control at certain timings of the round, and how that leads into your success on objectives. And we're not there yet, I guess, but there are more and more analytical tools coming out, and there's lots of really interesting stuff. One of the fun things is being able to see player rotations. Like, you know, if you throw some smokes, for example, and a lot of these tools are available to the professional teams, but I don't think necessarily available to anybody else. And you know, you can, for example, see, oh, if I smoke off device, you can like isolate just gun rounds, just the last like 10 matches of Mirage that Astralis have played. If I smoke off devices AWP in this spot, these are the 2 spots he rotates to most consistently.
Yeah.
Like you get the power to do that these days. So.
And speaking of ops, we have Tricked with 2 of them. So hopefully they'll be able to hold down these angles, because Mix have literally just been walking out dry every single time and making it work. So
yeah, you're right.
This is, I mean, Tricked, they were up 5-0 to start the match, and like Daniel said, they won first pistol rounds. Generally, you're in a pretty good spot, but everything has fallen apart for Tricked, and they have to win 3 in a row to get Doki.
Got to make that change, man. Michael Jackson. Bobsky is going to see a lot of players up top. He's done great damage there. Tubbs on a 4 HP, but Regon's keeping things open. There is the finish off of the job. HE putting in work. Mix have 3 chances to take the first map in normal time. This is the first of them. There's a focus towards the B bomb site. Mix still showing some presence. There's a flash over the top. A missed shot with the AWP. Swan bounces off the ladder, but he can't move fast enough to avoid getting shot. Regon trying to play off of his teammate, but surely he goes down for free. There is a player just around the corner from default. There's Roje. 1 in the bag for Tricked, and we look to the money of Mix, which there is a lot of for now.
I'm going to practice those ladder swings. Those are really cool. At 1.6, I was really good with the ladders, but in this game I've never bothered because they...
There are some KZ maps
them.
which include ladders on walls where you have to kind of fly off the ladder and land
that's cool.
with a certain trajectory. It's pretty awesome, actually. Get on the KZ servers, man. I've got a Thanos skin. Anyway, 13 to 15. Tricked have got to win 2 more. If they can win this round, the money might be tight for Mix. That's a great start, though, from Juan, taking control of the ladder position. Roje not expecting that fast play. Not so common, but do it at the right round, at the right time. But who knows what happens afterwards.
So we can maybe look for Mix doing the walkout now, because this is... They got almost... I mean, they did it with Molotovs before, but there was that round where they got the kill on ladder, and they just all kind of walked out team main. So what is the way that they handle it now? Obviously, the situation's slightly different. I don't know that Anarchos had an AWP the last time. They have a... It looks like they're going to be splitting, given that the Ivy players are... they're not that committed, but it is annoying to rotate back from Ivy right now. So
yeah, I think throwing an inner fake, and then since they have ladder control, they can throw an inner fake and then split outside. If they throw an interfake, typically when you have 4 CT side, you're going to lean 2 there.
Tusson's going for it around, and he threw his Molotov, he threw his flash. He didn't have a smoke, unfortunately. And they may be going slowly into the AWP here. This could be a problem. Oh, Acor, he turns away, and there's the Krieg doing its work. Synopsy's been pretty good with the Krieg. Now it's down to Juan and Regon. Regon again, we've seen him come from this position before, and he had the timing, but he pulls out a nade. It's unfortunate. It looks like this might be over here for Juan, indeed. Not much he can do.
Yeah. I think the molly was the right play. It's just he was peeked at an angle that left him vulnerable. So he had the right read with the CTs rotating from inner to Z.
No one time to plant the bomb. Area control didn't quite work out. So here we are. No bomb plant, and they are very light on grenades. Mac 10 for Juan. He is at the front, so maybe he's looking to swing. No, he's swing downstairs. Speaking. Never mind, Acor, very aggressive shot, which there's no response to just yet. And the smoke in the middle. Shush Jiggles versus the Krieg, and Anikas has made the right read. This scope working out much better for him, and it might be talking about impact frags earlier on. He may just win the map for his team.
Yeah, huge moment. And there is Regon taking one down from the back. So the pressure of the flank is on. That really speeds up the CTs, pushing the site very quickly. Tudson does go down to Hunden, but there's still 2 players left here. Make it 1, and they know where he's coming from. They would expect him to be on the flank. They're looking towards the flank, but there is no time to get there, and that's the overtime secured. 15-15, but you got to expect that Mix to have the advantage in this overtime, because if we consider the fact that they lost effectively the pistol both halves, the first 5 rounds both halves.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, because for me, it's okay, never mind. We're going to a break. Talk about it after the break. Back in a minute. Okay, we're not going to a break because it didn't pause. The admins forgot. Anyway, all right. So for me, like if you look at, you know, Tricked are the professional team and Mix are the Mix, right? And I feel like the CTs, well, I think rather not the CTs, but Tricked should adjust more over time. The longer the game goes on, the more used to the shenanigans they should get, and the stronger they should be. That's how I see it anyway.
Maybe Anarchist is warmed up now, though, James. Wow. Oh.
Not live.
Was that not live? What's...
Okay.
That looked live to me, so that's not good. We'll see what happens, but that definitely looked like someone made a mistake. Oh dear. Especially considering that Snopsy got a pick there. That's a problem.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but...
Because, yeah, that's a huge problem, because now you have to... I don't know how people solve these issues these days.
That's a rough one.
But yeah, because there was a pick.
If someone's pressed the wrong... Oh, God. If someone's pressed the wrong button, all you can do really is apologize. I mean, what else can you do?
Sorry.
That's... Well, yeah, I don't know what's happening right now.
We're waiting for information.
So yeah, I would have to agree. I think the shenanigan plays of Mix, kind of just walking out, that kind of, you know, it's kind of reckless. And it's not something you can really rely on every single round. So hopefully, we'll Trick now, they'll have 10K. So they'll have AUGs, they'll have OPS, they'll have full rifles to be able to hold down these angles. And Mix, they've been having a lot of success. Also, just solo man plays like rushing ladder, getting a kill. Example, last round, we saw a guy rush T mid. Saw tons of just walk down lowers, lower ramps, and catching those.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments, because you say you expect Trick to have a lot more... They understand much more what they're dealing with now, and for Mix, you don't expect that they would have a different gear to go to. It wouldn't make sense. So, but at the same time, like, you know, they are doing some of the basics. Like, you know, there we're seeing, okay, so obviously he goes for a timing pick. And that's one of the things where if Tricked do as they did there, where they try to use their utility to get someone into ladder room to prevent the T's from coming out, towards Olaf quickly. But, you know, Snopsy, you know, you can still make that peak and you can still take the risk. And in that situation, he gets the kill. Like, there are some basics that can still get them some of the early picks or picks at least. And that seems to be, you know, when they can really start working the map. So we'll see exactly how they decide to adjust. Big aggression from Acor. We know he's good for it, but the trade comes through, and Anarchez also delivers towards upper. Typical peak there from Bubsky that you would generally be checking for in any T-side default. And this has not gone well for Tricked. And let's remember that they've lost Orbs here. That's a lot of economic damage on an overtime.
And Hunden, I think he spotted 2 up there. But the problem is, Juan's out. And he's found an opening. He knows there's one alley, and there's probably one bomb and one inner. He's got the info. He definitely hears that bomb train player. Hopefully, he's gonna shoot this player inside, and he's gonna kill the bomb player after.
Oh boy!
Oh, no.
Imagine if he landed and died. That would have been cool, but still alive. Oh boy, they're stuck in a choke point now. Things are turning around. There's still time though, and the Krieg will certainly help. Surely they saw the last player, Ivy. They know he could be on a bomb train. 40 seconds is enough to deal with the situation. There's no need to panic. Roger's made his way onto the site though.
This is the best position he could have.
He's heard the bomb fall to the floor. There is the cover from Anarchez, and all is well.
That's amazing that Anarchez actually has the cover there, because that bomb train position, you can get the kill on the planter really quickly, or effectively the other player, and then kill the planter immediately. I thought that this moment when, who was it that, I think it was Juan who kind of messed up the kill, the player jumping across. I thought that was the moment, because it looked like that things would go badly for Mix, because that was the moment when they were like, it looked like they were panicking, trying to trade that kill, and overextending to try to trade that kill.
Yeah, although he whiffed, I think he was able to call out all 3 players. All 3 player positions or teammates from where to look.
So look at this again.
A ton of damage.
It's really interesting because, ooh, Days coming through. But this is the thing, like, if you play a fast pace on the CT side, you have to use the utility to cover you to get control of the choke points. And Mix are just happy to take battles. And they're reliably getting the damage and the kills. Oh, that's another round where they get 2 opening picks. That should not be this easy on T-sided train.
And they're doing the smart thing here, all regrouping together. The rush of the napalm, though, it's a little reckless. They had smokes to work with and plenty of time.
Maybe they can force it to work regardless. They've got the flank coming in from Synopsy, but Hunden, will he be checked for? No, he won't. But now it's all up to the flank. Anarchez just have to stay alive, but it's not going to happen. Bomb is now lost. Synopsy on the back has been spotted. He's been flanked, and Tricked will recover. And that's a 3v5 they just won without losing a player. And as you say, Ron, it seems like they sealed their own fate by rushing things. They were that Molotov came in at a really nasty timing.
Yeah,
to be
fair, yeah, there's not much they could do about that. They were mid-jump on the lower ramp.
16-16. Last round of the first half of overtime. AWP for both sides. Acor and Anarchez. Anarchez seems to be warming up now. Oh, he sees 2 players he can communicate to, well, to 2 of his teammates. Everyone else is dead. Okay, never mind. There's no communication to be had. No one responding to the radio. That is quite the last round. Okay, here he is, Anarchez. And there's more work to be done in the second half if he can't fix this. The bomb is in the A-bomb site, so there's only so far he can go. There is time on the clock, though. He's got time to work with.
He's got so much time. The only issue is that you can't know. Pretty much any rotation or not rotating is as good as any other maneuver at this point, because the CTs can be doing anything, pushing anything. And he's got to peek it, and he's unfortunate to run into the AWP, and there you go. 70-16. That is a great result for Tricked. If you consider that they started off 2 of the rounds with effectively a 3v5, and they managed to win 2 of the 3 rounds, that's pretty impressive. I do like how Mix are just doing what works. Even though Trick to kind of expect it, they're still struggling to not give up the early picks.
And we have double op set up from Mix. And it'd be interesting to see if Tricked is going to run some kind of set play, or if they're going to try a default.
I don't know how much double op we saw from Mix in normal time on the CT side. Of course, they had a horrendous start to things in the first place, so money wasn't in the right place. But let's see how it works out. Tartan's got a very forward spawn, so I do wonder if he goes for a connector play. For example, we saw Anakez go shotgun mode towards B in normal time with the AWP. Tartan's got a good spawn. The CTs pretty much always get here before the Ts do anyway. Okay, he's going for the... Well, there's a few different places he could go. He could go stop sign, he could be boosted on the A bomb site. Can be vulnerable to grenades. We saw some yesterday, double or triple grenades in between the bomb trains. Run boost for A core. That's pretty terrifying considering how consistent he's been.
I think I've seen him miss one shot in this entire game.
You're lying.
One shot.
He doesn't miss shots.
So opening kill for Mix. I like this active play, taking T main away. Ooh, the barrel spotted, so that's pretty big info right there for Tudson to call to his teammates. Brave enough to hold the angle, wins the peak. And it gets worse here. 3 players left for Trick. They do have some positioning, but it's been spotted and it's gone. One again with that forward position because they took T main away. Taking opportunities that are given. That is really good to see from Mix, and they start off well.
Trick's default getting completely smashed. They're pretty much... And they got all the space to get out alley, or get to the end of alley. So instead of trying to smoke off one side or the other, they tried to get A-core to peek out and clear those angles with an op, but the CT op too strong, holding that little crack.
It's a good start for Mix to their CT side. Score is tied for now. One makes his way towards the sandwich position, and Olof will be denied for Roj. 3 plays above B for Tricked, and Hunden is in the IV position, currently smoked off. And looks like a burst. Looks like they're taking a leaf out of the Mix book, but can they do it just as well? Anakez holding the high ground. There is a re-smoke. I think they've got an idea now. Repositioning. Anakez missing the first shot. That's a really dangerous re-peek for him, even with the smoke up. Regon moves with a flashbang. Bomb planter is taken out. 3 players remain. Man advantage for Mix, and we've got a rotation from Hunden all the way from Ivy, going back to T-spawn. But you'll never make it there in time. A-core now, 28 HP. 2 versus 3 though. The bomb is on the B bomb site, so they have to commit to this, but it's not going to be easy. A-core punctured. Synopsy holding a flank on A. They haven't seen Hunden just yet. Again, he was smoked off in Ivy, rotated all the way back. Now we've got the sound cues. There's the rotation being invited by Mix. Shows a little leg. I won't give the 1 versus 1 up. I respect that. Allows Regon to finish off the job, and Mixer once again at game point.
Yeah, looking really confident. And the thing that scares me too is that Anarkez is warming up, and he's looking better as the game goes on. He was he was effectively the biggest leak that they had on the CT side. So yeah, it's definitely a Mixer looking like the better Counter-Strike team right now, which is kind of weird in that sense.
Well, I mean, they were down at 0-5 one point, losing both pistols again, but they're making it work. They've scrapped all the way back, now they've got an opportunity to take the match. This would be huge, taking on Trick's map pick.
Yeah. I think that they played Trick. Did they play Trick before on Train and they got beasted by Trick? Yeah, that's correct. So they got absolutely smashed against Trick previously on this map. I think it was like 16-5 or something like that, you know.
Okay.
When it counts, they've brought the noise.
Yeah.
Another burst from Tricked. They'll hear the flashbang and hear that the CTs have just taken a ladder area. But look at the rotation. As he smokes to the prod, we've got a 3rd man rotating in. We've got a 4th man rotating in. The area control of that Molotov is fantastic, but the frags are even better. As I say that, of course, Mix will just fight straight back and leave Shush alone at 1 versus 2. And there it is. Mix take the first game of the series, 19-17 on Train.
And I love the way that it finishes because it's Anarkez who gets a double with the AWP on some pretty
Some
gnarly
redemption.
shots to finish it off. I feel like that's shows that they righted the ship at Mix, and again, they started off this game losing the pistol, they're going down 0-5, and then it was this moment that really rejuvenated Mix, brought them back to life. And Synopsy as well, he had lots of great moments with the Krieg especially. There were so many like key Krieg trades and picks that he got. And that was really interesting to see. Like for me, both Synopsy and Regon really started things off very well enough for Tricked to keep them in the game.
Yeah, if I'm Tricked right now, I'm kind of scratching my head confused. Like, what just happened? How did we just let this happen? We're in such a strong position.
They're going to be on the doctor's couch next to Mousesports if this continues. Like you two, yep. See how it goes. We've got from a claustrophobic map to a nice open map because Dust 2 will be next. These are the scores on the doors. Overtime means lots of players going over the 3,000 damage mark. And again, as you said, Dan, Annika did get some redemption at the end with the impact frags after missing some potentially round-winning shots in multiple rounds earlier on Train. But indeed, it will be Dust 2 as the second map. It's time for Trick to make a comeback to the third. Will it happen though? We will find out after the break.